decided to come clean. Why are you the only one that's still lying? We don't have a choice. We have to come clean. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to a boost of joy by Joy Shilvani. I happen to be Joy Shilvani. If you're new to the family, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, bestie. So it's a new year, new me. I am trying to be consistent, which is why I'm going to be shooting the story time. I asked on my Instagram last year already between two story times, and people picked the actually I don't remember. I think it was a tie between how I almost got expelled from hostel in grade 9 and how we were stranded at Boho in Bloemfontein. So I don't know which one I want to tell. Maybe I want to tell both depending on my storage on my phone. But you know, I hope you guys enjoy the story time. I hope you guys enjoy all my other story times. Okay, I only have one other story time. My other story time, you enjoy my vlogs because that's what I mainly post, vlogs. And this year I want to get into the uni content, posting vlogs, uni vlogs, study vlogs, telling people how I got into UCT, my experiences and all of that. So that's another thing to be excited about, but that's not the point of this video. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and share with your friends and family and dogs, and make sure to like. I said this already. Goodbye. So I'm going to be telling you guys the story of how I almost got expelled from hostel when I was 13. I was in grade 9. So our grade, guys, we were so naughty. The matric class of 2020, we were so naughty. So what had happened was, in February we usually have inter-high. So in grade 8 we couldn't go because we were in grade 8, I think. And then come grade 9 we were supposed to go. They were like, no, we can't go because we're disrespectful to the teachers, we're naughty, wada fish paste. Cool. So when they told us we can't go to inter-high, obviously there are other people who made plans to go to inter-high, but there was a group of us. I think, was it 9 of us? I think we were 9 of us, and we decided, you know what, we're just gonna chill in hostel. There's gonna be no one in hostel. We're just gonna chill. It's just us and the juniors, because we had 2 hostels at St. Michael's. It was community, which was for grade 11s and matrics, and then grade 10 going down, it was Hildegard. So in Hildegard, we knew that, okay, the grade 10s are going to inter-high, the grade 8s were going to inter-high. That pissed us off as well, because why are the grade 8s going and we can't go? So the grade 10s, the grade 8s, and then grade 7 down, they're juniors. So like, it's just going to be us and the juniors. So let's figure out what we can do. So what had happened was, we decided, you know, I'm going to go buy alcohol. The 9 of us were going to go buy alcohol. I'm not going to be mentioning any names in the story time, just my name. So we decided about we're going to buy alcohol. We all contribute 50 rand. So that means we had like 450. We had 450. So usually on Fridays, inter-high is on a Friday. So on Fridays, we get to go to the mall. So we're like, okay, we're going to go to the mall. We're going to get someone to buy us alcohol. So I knew this specific guy, you know, cool. And we're like, okay, he's the one who's going to buy us the alcohol. And then he took some time because we're at the mall. We can go to the mall from, school comes at 1:45, so we can go to the mall from 2:30, I think, until 5:30, or 3 until 5:30. So we go to the mall, Mimosa Mall, obviously. Yeah, as in, we know, everyone took out their 50 rands, you know, guzo puzo. So cool. We get to the mall. The guy takes time to get to the mall. So he takes time to get to the mall. So, and I'm not the one who had the money. So when he eventually arrived at the mall, I think they'd already found someone else. They found my other friend's cousin to get us alcohol. Cousin or uncle, something of that sort. Because I called them and I was like, I'm at this place, can I get the money so that you can go buy the alcohol? And they were like, no, we already got some. And I was like, okay, cool. So we chill at the mall. I'm chilling with the guy. So when it's time to go back to hostel, I think no, it wasn't 5:30, it was 4:45. 4:45, the guard comes and he opens the gate. We come back from the mall. So my friends, they're holding, the people I was drinking with, they're holding a bag. Wait, see my changani bag. But talking my changani bag. And I'm like, in my head it doesn't click. Like I forgot. I even thought they didn't get the alcohol. It doesn't click. And then they're like, no, this girl just got things from her uncle or cousin or whatever from her family. So we're like, okay, cool. So we go to supper, no problem. It was just us at supper. Did we even have, I don't know if we had supper or we just got lunch, the dinner packs. But yeah, supper came, went to supper, cool. After supper, we took a walk because they said hostel was locking at 7 or 6:30. So I took a walk with my roommate, I remember. So I took a walk with my roommate, no problem. Came back to hostel. They locked hostel, of course. So now I'm chilling in my room. I'm chilling in my room, you know. Cool. And then they call me. They're like, no, come to so-and-so's room. We go to so-and-so's room. And I get there. Good night. It's a bottle of Smirnoff 1818. It's a bottle of 1818 and a 6-pack of Smirnoff. I don't know if it's Smirnoff Spin or Guarana. That time, yeah, that 1818 alcohol dash, guys. It's just the 1818 in Jalo. So, sharp, we get there, we lock the door. At first, the people who contributed, it was 7 of us. Yes, it was 7 of us. And then the other 2, I think, came back from Inter High and then came to the room and joined us, you know. So kuthatha my shots, kuthatha my videos, it's nice. So after a while, I go to my room because at that moment I was feeling a bit dizzy. The alcohol is starting to kick in. Vodka, just like that, with no dash, does not play, especially Smirnoff 1818. So I get to my room, I lie in my bed. Then my friend at the time comes back from youth. There was this thing we used to go to called youth. She comes back from youth and she's telling me about youth, but this happened, you know, they spoke about this, cool. And then she leaves my room and she's like, she's going to go put her bag in her room because she came from youth straight to my room. So she's going to take her bag and take it to her room. So she takes her bag, she takes it to her room, and when she comes back, and then she's like, they're calling you. And I was like, who's calling me? And she's like, one of the students is calling me in so-and-so's room. So-and-so is the person who we're drinking with. So now I'm like, damn, we got caught. Well, we, not me, but we got caught. Cool beans. I go to the room. I walk into the room. People are crying. So I get into the room. People are crying. Real tears, guys. They're crying. So our rooms in hostel, there were 2 sides. Obviously, we were sharing. So there was one side and there was a wall that had desks and shelves. And then there was the other person's side. People are crying. So they're sitting on the one side and the other side. So I go and I sit on the other side in the corner. I remember I sat in the corner. So now I'm out of it. The alcohol has kicked in. I'm not drunk, but I am not on earth. So the students are busy speaking because we had 4 students in a hostel. So the students are busy speaking, saying, no, we're so disappointed in you guys. Nah. Because apparently the one student came to come do roll call and she said she could smell the alcohol, which I think is a lie. Uti, she could smell it from the beginning of the passage. Lapo, the room was one of the last rooms. I think that's a lie, but okay. So like, she could smell the alcohol, and there's a friend of mine. There's a friend of mine. I remember when I left the room, I left saying I'm going to fetch my phone. And then when I came back, when I wanted to come back, she was like, no, let's go downstairs to the TV room. I think we're watching in a link. I think in a Movang. It was around 9. I think so. Sharp. So, okay, the students are busy speaking to us saying, they're so disappointed, nah. My friend over here that I went to the TV room with vomited in the TV room because I later left her in the TV room because I was like, I'm going to lie down. And then she stayed there and apparently she vomited in the TV room. Cool. So I get to this 4 students. 3 of the students were like, no, it's fine, bring the bottles, we're going to get rid of the evidence, we're not going to tell you guys, but this should never happen again. So the other one decides to go tell the house mistress, and the house mistress that was on Tuesday that weekend was the strict one, the one that, yo guys, so cool. They're like, no, bring the bottles. The students take the bottles in bags and they're like, they're going to go get rid of them. Obviously they have to put them in bags because they're cameras, right? Cool. So the next morning, wake up, we go to breakfast. It's cool. We don't get cold, so usually breakfast we eat and then there's announcements, then we say grace. So there were announcements. It was the day, I remember it was the day of V-Ball. Yes, it was a Saturday of V-Ball. There was V-Ball that Saturday. And we were supposed to go, of course. So there were announcements about how things are going to go with regards to Sapa and stuff because of V-Ball. And then, she sat down. The house mistress sat down. We said grace, cool beans. We go to our rooms. So we had prep for like 2 hours. I think it's 9 to 11. Something like that. 9 to 12, we had prep. So during prep, you stay in your room. You're supposed to be doing homework or sleeping or cleaning, but as long as you're quiet. Okay. So we had prep. So during prep, beginning of prep, the bell rings as usual. Prep has started. Everyone is chilling in their own room, doing our own thing. And then the students come and they fetch us one by one. They fetch us in our rooms. And that's when we saw Utaik Shubil and they were separating us. So they take us to the dining hall and they make us sit down and they make us say we shouldn't face each other. They make us sit down on different tables. We're not facing each other. Nobody's looking at the other. So the house mistress comes and she's like, I want you guys, she's like, I know what happened last night. I want you guys to write a report of what happened last night, where you got the alcohol, what you were drinking, everything that happened, and she wants us to write our parents' email addresses. So because honestly at that point I didn't know my parents' email address. I was not lying. So I asked them, like, what if you don't know your parents' email address? They're like, no problem, we'll find it. I'm like, okay, cool. Sapala uzokutshela sikuthenge sizacontribute malini no all of that. Cool beans. After we write that, we go up to our rooms and that's when we notice sisekakeni because of that one student that went to go tell the house mistress. I guess so we go up to our rooms, carry on with prep, and then it was lunchtime. Lunch is at around 1, I think, on weekends. So it's lunchtime, and after eating the announcements, the house mistress calls us. The 9 girls that were drinking years old, she calls us. So she tells us, okay, because of what you guys did, you can't go to V-Ball. If you're planning on going to V-Ball, call your dates and tell them, sorry, you're not going because you're forfeited your tickets and no. So like, no, but it's unfair. We can't like not go to V-Ball. We bought the tickets, we have dresses, we're ready. V-Ball is in a few hours. You're telling us in a few hours that we're not going? And she was like, yeah. She was like, yeah. And if I see you guys at V-Ball, I am going to kick you guys out of this hostel. And we're like, you? Okay, cool. So what we do? I was really expecting pictures, Pella. You went to V-Ball, you bought a dress, you bought a ticket, you're going to V-Ball. So we put on our dresses. I remember was it 3 of us? I don't remember. Put on our dresses, but most of us said, put on our dresses, we go and we take pictures. Going to take pictures and go back to hostel. We go back to hostel. V-Ball, we are broken hearted. We can't go to V-Ball. Don't. Mina, I send pictures to my parents as usual. Kaloku ndise V-Ball, that's what they know. So cool, yeah. Next day is a Sunday and we have chapel on Sunday evenings. So we go to chapel. Yes, we went to chapel. After chapel, and when I was sitting in chapel, my heart was heavy, man. Like I felt like, angikoras. After chapel, my parents called me. My parents call me. I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm like, yeah, everything was good. Vivo was nice, man. My mom started shouting. She was like, you thought we wouldn't find out? Nah. We got an email from Mrs. Mang, but you guys were drinking on Friday and and they caught you guys with alcohol and and she's shouting. And I started crying, crying, real tears. I'm bawling my eyes out. Okay. She's shouting. My dad is not a person who shouts. If you do something wrong, he'll tell you this is wrong, cool. He won't shout at you, he'll speak to you properly. Sorry about that. He'll speak to you properly. So my dad is like, no, do you understand what you did? Do you understand that you guys might get suspended or we might have to come fetch you during the week? Don't. Cool beans. We talk it out as a umdi. My mom comes down, we talk it out, talking about how disappointed she is. What a fish paste. And then come during the week. I think it was the Monday or the Tuesday. We get called to the office and they give us letters. So these letters are to tell us that we have a hearing on Friday. Call your parents or family or whoever can represent you at the hearing. You have a hearing on Friday. So cool. I called my parents and I told them, Lalela, I have a hearing on Friday. You guys are expected to come, or somebody older, family or whatever. And they're like, I assist Tina Lapo, figure out what you do. How? I was like, so what must happen now? Like, do you guys really not care to that point? Are you guys angry to that point? So, cool. The whole week can get clean. I'm a representative, Galo. And then come Friday, there was this girl who was my friend. I was in grade 9. She was in grade 11 at the time. Was she in grade 11? Or in matric? Grade 11 or in matric? So she had a boyfriend. Like, we were really close. Her and I were really close, and I knew her boyfriend. So then she calls her boyfriend because he was in matric as well, or just a year older. So she calls her boyfriend and she's like, yo, Joy needs a representative, please come through. So like, okay, I'm just gonna say you're my cousin and all of that. So cool. We go to the hearing. The hearing starts at 2. Yes, it was 2. So we had to go to early lunch. And remember, at early lunch we were not talking. When I tell you ukudla kwehla kabuhlungu, asikhulumisani, asazi ukuthi sothina, asazi ukuthi le hearing bazothini nje. Sharp 2 o'clock we go to the hearing. People's parents are there. Mina. People's parents are there. I remember it was 3 of us from Joburg, and we didn't have representatives because our parents were like, we're not driving from Joburg for your nonsense. So the other 2 got matrics from our school to represent them because that was allowed. And then I got my friend's boyfriend, Galok. So the hearing starts. They're telling us, this is what happened. They explain, Cool. They explain how the hearing's going to go. It was in the staff room. We were all there with our parents and all of that. Cool. With our representatives. Some people with their parents, and then now parents don't care. We had representatives. So they're like, okay, cool. We're all gonna sit in the foyer, and then they're gonna call us in one by one. You're gonna come and explain what happened. They're gonna ask you questions and all of that, and then you're gonna go out on the other side of the staff room, and you're gonna sit there. You can't communicate with the others. So they asked this one girl because her grandmother and her aunt came, so they had to drive back to Joburg, I think. So they asked her first because like this needs to go by fast. So they asked her first. They asked her questions. After her, it was me. So when they asked me, the questions are still chill. I'm still one of the first people. The questions are chill. I didn't take that long. They just asked us about how much did you guys contribute, who got the alcohol, whose idea was it. No. Cool. And when it gets to the others, number 7, 8, 9, Sana, they taking an hour in there. I was convinced, but no. Abba, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. So at least we all decided to come clean, but no, we drank alcohol and this happened. Then this one girl, my friend, we are still friends. I still have her number. Okay, the interest is back. We're still friends. I still have her number. She lies and she was like, no, Tina, we gave her Sprite and Stony mixed together. The one that vomited, Galo. Not Tina, we gave her Sprite and Stony. And I'm like, we all decided to come clean. Why are you the only one that's still lying? We don't have a choice. We have to come clean. Okay. So that happens. So when they done asking everyone, they call us back in Sonke. And then they were like, okay. So now that house mistress, that was on duty, the strict one, which is the same one that doesn't like us. She was the prosecutor because there was a lawyer and a prosecutor, and then there was like SGB members, and our principal wasn't there. He had a hockey sleepover or something. So what happens is prosecutor Yasana standing by the podium. Uti so she's busy reading out our sanctions and why she chose that sanction. They're speaking about demerits at school. Nin, you didn't do your homework. Nin, teacher Mang was complaining about you. And that for that reason, you are expelled from hostel. Everyone expelled from hostel. So then the lawyer steps in and she's like, no, this is a hostel matter, so you can't be including Mang only 80 demerits and they didn't do their homework. That has nothing to do with hostel stuff. Sharp. So they were like, okay, the verdict is that you guys are all expelled from hostel, which can appeal. So they're like, okay, our parents can speak for us, our representatives. So they tell us to leave our representatives and they're fighting for us, but no, you can't expel them from hostels the first time this happens and all of that. You can give them something less, because if you expel them from hostel, where are they gonna stay? Because you're not expelling them from school yet, and also you can't find another school now in February. Cool. So they call us in one by one to tell us she rethinks her stupid decision. Okay, it's not stupid, but very drastic decision. And they call us in one by one. They're like, okay, the sanction is confidential. Nah. So the sanction I got was close gating for the rest of the year. So close gating is you can't go to the mall. You can only be signed out by your parents. You have to wear uniform all the time. You can't wear CDs even when you're in hostel, or if you're in your room, cool, you can wear CDs. But if you go into the dining hall, or outside, you must be wearing school uniform or school tracksuit, stuff like that. So they gave me close gating, a month of suspension. That suspension was from the beginning of second term, so a month into second term, from the beginning of second term, and for that month, so I could only come to school a month later. So so we got suspension, a suspension from hostel, close gating, and community service. So I saw this because, of course, they were telling us confidential, you can't tell anyone. But of course, we told each other our sections. So There are two girls who didn't contribute. Yeah, they just ended up in the room. The two girls, they came with their dads, cohering, and they got, I think they only got close gating and community service. And then the three of us, the ones that didn't have the ones that had metrics as their representatives, no family members whatsoever. We got the month of suspension, close gating, community service, and then the one who came with her grandmother and aunt got 2 weeks of suspension, close gating, community service, and then the other three got expelled. They're like, they're not changing their decision, they're getting expelled. So, which was the girl who lied, and these two other girls who got to the school before us. So they got expelled from hostel. Okay, cool. Hi, nah, I told my parents this is what happened at the hearing. Now they were fine. So come beginning of second term, my parents, well, it was my mom, because we used to go to Bloemfontein with the transport. So one of the girls that I got into trouble with, her mom used to transport me, her 2 daughters, and my other friend, and and it was quite a number of us. So my mom was like, this time around, so it was my mom and the girl's mom. They were like, they're going to go speak to us, going to speak for us so that we can stay in hostel because we need to go to school. So okay, we drive to Bloemfontein. Cool beans. We get there, and my mother is like, so when we get to hostel, the girls who got expelled from hostel, it was the two. The one who lied was still at home. It was the two. We see them signing into hostel, and we're like, So my mom was like, I want to speak to the prosecutor lady, the house mistress. She goes to the house mistress. My mom is going off. But how are the ones who are expelled allowed into hostel, and they're allowed to stay for a few days, but you're not allowing our kids who are just suspended to stay in hostel? And she's going off and off and off and off and off. So vele was our parents, my mom and the girl's mom, had said, but they're going to speak for us. If it's not a success, well, they said they're going to speak for us on the Monday with the principal. They said they're going to speak to the principal, and then if it's not a success, we're just going to drive back. They had already booked a hotel for the 4 of us. So until when we drop off the other people, we want to see the 2 girls that were expelled sign into hostel. My mom went off. She went off on that house mistress. She went off, and I get to house mistress sula and no mawamula ula. So it's just. Yeah, so now they forced us to sleep in hostel for that day, because mama was like, no, I just shouted at her, so you guys have to stay, because she said you guys can stay. And we're like, no, we don't want to stay, because we're going home tomorrow sharp. We stayed for that one night, then we went back to Joburg. For a month, guys, I was doing natural science in front of the TV, and I was home alone because my parents used to go to work every day. I was home alone, and we didn't have a helper anymore because we let her go when I went to boarding school, because she didn't have to stay with anyone after school. So I was doing natural science in front of the TV. Sana ngithi periodic table ingenzani. So we ended up going back to Bloemfontein a week before the suspension ended. So 3 weeks into the suspension, and then we booked into a B&B, which is across the school. And then it was me and the friend, and then we went with her mom, because her mom is, I think her mom's a stay-at-home mom. I could be wrong. I think her mom's a stay-at-home mom. So we booked into a B&B, and then we would just go to school. We would walk to school. So that is what happened. And then, obviously we missed a few tests here and there. When I tell you guys, I missed a math test. Come the end of term, my math teacher, because galoku ichomika prosecutor, ichomika strict house mistress. My math teacher tells me, no. Our math teacher tells us, no. The test that you missed is going to count 0, because you guys are expelled from hostel. No, not expelled. We were suspended. You guys were suspended from hostel and not school, so you guys could still come to school. And we're like, okay, but where are we gonna stay? where were we gonna stay? Because we don't have family in Bloem. Were we gonna stay at your house? Exactly. So we had to. Okay, to wrap it up, because I ran out of space. To wrap the story up, so basically we had to speak to HOD, principal, and then they ended up making the test not count at all. Because if it counts 0, it pulls down your average or your actual mark. So they ended up saying, okay, it doesn't count at all. So that is what happened. That is how I almost got expelled from hostel. Was it crazy times? Crazy times. That was the longest year of my life. You can't go to the mall. You can't get visitors. You have to wear uniform 24/7. Your son. It was bad, but it wasn't bad. Come to think of it. So yeah, that's the end of my story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments if that house mistress was being unreasonable or if we deserved to be expelled from hostel. I still think we didn't deserve to be expelled from hostel. She just didn't like us. But please comment down below if you want more story times. Please make sure you comment which videos you would like to see me shoot. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share with your family. Bye guys.